Alright, so I was in the middle of sawing some parts and my bandsaw quit working. The motor is running, but the blade wasn't spinning. So I knew something was up. I think something happened to the gearbox. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use a puller to pull off the drive wheel. Then I'm going to unscrew the gearbox, get it off the saw. We're going to take this thing apart and see what's going on with it. Alright, so let's take off this back plate here. Now we're going to take out this drive shaft and look at the gear. And that gear is stripped. So this gearbox is no longer any good. Ordered in a new one here, and you see this new one is it's actually a lot nicer. Now, even though it's a bummer that this saw quit working on me while I was needing to saw some parts, it's not too unsurprising that the gearbox might be having some issues, because this is a pretty old saw that's been used quite a bit. And I'm not even sure if this is the original gearbox to the saw. Now, I ordered a replacement gearbox from the manufacturer of the saw. I'm pretty sure this new gearbox is going to last a long time. Now, once I get this gearbox bolted onto this saw and get the drive wheel back on, it does have some adjustment screws that can adjust the angle of the gearbox and the drive wheel to make sure that that bandsaw blade tracks properly, so that it doesn't, walk its way off of the wheel or get jammed up on the shoulder, because one side of the wheel does have a shoulder on it. So you want it to track so it moves it towards that shoulder, but doesn't push it too tight up against that shoulder. This gearbox came pre-filled with lubricant, so I don't need to worry about that. So I made sure that the pulley's lined up. And then I get the V-belt on there, and the V-belt is tensioned via a spring. I'm not sure if that's the original mechanism. I think this saw had been modified over the years. So now that I got that on and back together, I did have an issue with the old descent cylinder. It started leaking from the bottom and wasn't really working anymore. So I ordered a new one. At the same time, I ordered the new gearbox. So that's what I'm doing now, is putting in the new descent cylinder. I will say that these descent cylinders are a little bit finicky, the hydraulic operated ones where you twist the valve to release the pressure. They're not real consistent on their downfeed, especially depending on where they are in their travel. That's one thing I do like about the newer saws. It's got more of a feed mechanism, So now this saw's back up and going, and it should be good for years to come. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a good one and take it easy.